Facebook gaming versus Twitch versus YouTube gaming. Which platform is out ahead right now? Which one has the best odds for you to succeed as a gaming live streamer? What we're going to be looking at today is the most fresh data on all three of these platforms in terms of how large is the viewership, how many channels are you competing against, and then you can look at the ratio of how many viewers there are versus how many channels there are, so you can start to make the best decisions possible on where you have the best opportunity to grow. There are now over 10 million live streamers out there on Twitch alone, and Facebook gaming just busted through the 1 billion hours watched mark. It was half that about a year ago. The streaming industry is exploding with growth right now, and it's time for you to get on board if you want to do this thing full time. You ready? All right, here is the Streamlabs quarterly report. It is my favorite report that comes out every single year or every single quarter. And what it's going to do is tell us all about which platforms are growing, which ones are dying. And this one's particularly interesting because Mixer shut down. And so where did all of those 4 million streamers go? We're going to see all of those insights right now in the report. So first things first, this is a huge thing you should be paying attention to. It's total hours watched on all of these different platforms. As you can see, Twitch is still the king of total hours watched. 63% of the eyeballs out there are on Twitch right now. Facebook is at 14% and YouTube gaming is at 22%. Now, in comparison to last quarter with these numbers, this portion of the pie that Facebook has and YouTube has increased significantly. And if this trend continues with hours watched, the viewership on all of these platforms, Facebook and YouTube combined are going to take more than half of the pie moving forward with total viewership across all streaming platforms. That's something to take note of. And that's a big reason why being on all of these platforms at the same time makes a lot of sense, and why being on Facebook and YouTube makes a lot of sense, because YouTube in particular and Facebook are actually growing in terms of their market share quarter over quarter, whereas Twitch's market share is actually shrinking in comparison to those two platforms. But don't make any conclusion on which one's best yet just because Twitch has a bigger piece of the pie because it's purple. Because look at the hours streamed by comparison. As you can see, Twitch is taking up 91% of the pie here with hours streamed, which is preposterous, even though only 63% of the hours watched are happening. So what that means is there's a lot more effort, if you will, being put into streams on Twitch, but the viewership isn't coming out of the other side. You see how that works out? 91% of the hours streamed, the effort from streamers is being put into Twitch, but only 63% of the viewership is happening on Twitch, which means there's a disparity between people streaming on Twitch and actually getting results. People struggle to grow on Twitch. I'm sure you guys have experienced the same, but in terms of hours streamed, it's absolutely crazy how only 3% of the hours streamed out there is on Facebook right now. Only 5% is on YouTube and 91% is on Twitch. So what that means is that there's a lot less competition just in terms of the amount of content you have to punch through if you want to break out as a streamer on Facebook and on YouTube. Whereas on Twitch, you're having to punch through an insane amount of content just to be noticed on that platform. Not to mention Twitch doesn't even have a growth algorithm, a search and discovery algorithm that can help you break through. Look, there's even more to the story. It's totally insane. When you look at these next numbers, look at this. This is the total number of unique channels on all of these platforms. It's totally preposterous. So if you look at the numbers over here on the side, Twitch has 10 million channels on it right now. It was below 10 million last quarter. It now crested over to 10.5 million. So you're wondering, where did all those Mixer streamers go? They went to Twitch primarily, but a lot of them actually went to YouTube. YouTube, 900,000 streamers there now, and Facebook only has 267,000 streamers. So Mixer had 4 million streamers on it when Mixer died. RIP Mixer. I'm sorry all you Mixer refugees out there that lost your home, but did all those streamers flood over to Facebook gaming? No. Here is the proof. People think that Facebook gaming bought Mixer. They did not buy Mixer, because look at how much of the pie Facebook gaming has right now in terms of streamers. They only picked up just a few streamers, and YouTube only picked up a few streamers, and Twitch still has 90% of the streamers right now. But remember, we're comparing, it's all about supply and demand. Twitch only has 63% of the viewership. So if Twitch has 90% of the talent, but only 63% of the viewership, that means that the talent that's on Twitch is not getting that much results. Really quick, let's talk about this concept, the concept of supply and demand, all right? So I talk about this all the time and I wanna grind it into your head. You wanna be where there is a low supply of content. You wanna be where there is a low supply of channels. You want to be streaming games and you want to be covering games where there's a lot less competition, while at the same time, there is high viewership, there's high search demand, there is high demand on each of these platforms, and hopefully an algorithm to help you. There's a lot more that you can kind of dive deeper into on all of these topics. And if you're interested in that, by the way, I offer a coaching service. If you're interested to one-on-one coaching with creators, I'll drop the link in chat right now. If you want to have a one-on-one coaching session with me, you can do that. I'll drop it in chat. It's awalldigital.com. You can just schedule one-on-one coaching by clicking the button here or using my scheduler tool. I've just opened it wide open. You can select your day, you can select your time, and you just literally enter your name, email, and the challenges you're having as a streamer and what you want to accomplish, and you pay, and I'm booked, and I'm on a one-on-one video call with you if that's interesting to you. So Twitch total hours watched, look how it crested as soon as coronavirus happened right here. 2.6 billion to 5.1 billion, and then dropped down to 4.7 here in the most recent quarter. So this is concerning to me. People were wondering, is Twitch going to grow indefinitely? Is coronavirus going to keep Twitch going on a non-stop growth curve? COVID started here into infinity. And it looks like it's not going to go into infinity. It actually declined. And so now we know where Twitch sits in terms of the numbers. It's going to sit between 4 to 5 billion, but there's a new kind of plateau for Twitch, if you will, until the next big thing in streaming happens, until the next big thing in the industry happens. And so before the plateau was between 2 to 3 billion, now it's between 4 to 5 billion. So what we can see here is in terms of the hours watched on Twitch, in terms of the viewership on Twitch, there's a new plateau that is nearly double what it used to be. So Twitch's viewership appears to have permanently increased. We'll see if it stays here, but it appears to have permanently increased by double. Isn't that preposterous? Isn't that absolutely amazing? As you can see here, hours streamed has not slowed down at all. And look, this is once again supply and demand. You notice how before on Twitch, the hours watched went down from Q2 to Q3, but look, the hours streamed actually went up. So what does that tell us? Here's hours streamed. What that tells us is the viewership went down on the platform, but the amount of competition is still going up on Twitch. That is bad for you as a streamer. That is very bad for you as a streamer. You do not want competition to go up and viewership to go down. You want it to be the opposite way. You want competition to go down and viewership to go up. So Twitch is trending in the wrong direction in terms of you actually being able to grow on Twitch, by the way. Don't take my word for it. The numbers are right in front of your face. So other than that, the unique channels on Twitch has been incredibly interesting to follow as COVID has really broke out and changed the landscape in streaming. In 2018, Twitch was at 5.8 million channels, which was absolutely incredible. Then there was this major jump over to Mixer once you saw people seeing greener pastures on Mixer when Twitch jumped up to 6.9 million channels on their platform, and then it dunked down to 4.3 million during the height of Shroud and Ninja and everybody jumping over to Mixer. So Twitch lost over 2.5 million channels during this whole Mixer debacle. They followed Ninja, they followed Shroud, it was crazy. And then once the coronavirus happened, Twitch then jumped back up to its previous highs of 6.1 million channels and then skyrocketed up to 10 million. And it keeps increasing, by the way. It's now up to 10.5 million channels today. It's more than double the competition on Twitch today than it was about a year ago, which is absolutely preposterous. So Twitch's numbers are not looking promising, but here are the most important ones to take note of. This is the total size of the pie of all of viewership on Twitch at any given time. And in 2018, there was about 1.1 million concurrent viewers on Twitch at any given point. Now, before the coronavirus, it was about the same. So Twitch wasn't really growing at all for basically an entire year and a half, which is preposterous. Then once coronavirus hit, Twitch grew to 1.4 million viewers at any given point on average, then up to 2.3 million. So it nearly doubled its viewership because of coronavirus at any point, which is fantastic for streamers. However, as we move into Q3, as you can see, the trend is now down. Twitch is no longer growing as people go back to school, as people get back to work, as life begins to return to normal a little bit in terms of coronavirus. Twitch is on the way back down. So we'll see where it ends up settling. I am going to speculate that it's going to hang around the 2 million-ish mark around here for Q4 of this year, and that's going to kind of be the new normal. So it used to hover around 1.2 million average viewers at any time on Twitch, and now because of the coronavirus, it's going to hang around 2 million or so. So it gained about 1 million concurrent viewers at any point on average on the platform overall. So Twitch has grown quite a bit. However, for streamers, the ratio is bad. So let's do some math really quick here, guys. Here is the math that you guys really need to keep in mind. What you need to look at is the total number of channels versus the total number of viewers possible. And the total number of channels, as we see right behind me on Twitch, is 10 million. Okay, the total amount of views at any given point on Twitch is about 2 million in terms of viewers. So that means that there is 1/5 of a viewer for every streamer on the platform. So every streamer gets 1/5 of one viewer. That is not a good ratio. So that means that there are millions and millions and millions of streams on Twitch that are getting 0 viewers. And each streamer, 5 streamers basically has to fight for 1 viewer on the platform. That is a bad ratio. So overall, these numbers are not good for streamers. They're good for Twitch, but they're not good for streamers. Supply in terms of streams on Twitch is sky high. It's never been higher. But demand in terms of viewership did not rise at the same rate, which means that your chances of growing on Twitch today are worse than ever by the numbers. But how does this compare to YouTube gaming? How does this compare to Facebook gaming?